Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of the RotoWire Fantasy Basketball Podcast sponsored by Sling TV. I'm your host, Kirien Sprecher. That's Ryan Ward. And we'll be discussing news and notes from last night's Monster 11 game slate before getting into some intriguing potential early season fantasy basketball trades. Ryan, let's just jump right into it, man. Let's start with your Lakers. You were pretty critical of their slow start to the season, with Reaves kind of being that only bright spot early on. But, even with Reaves joining LeBron on the bench for these last two games, the Lakers haven't lost since October 22nd or 26th against Portland. That's a 5-game winning streak. Also, how surprised are you by this winning streak from the Lakers, and do you think it's sustainable?
I'm pretty shocked. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to be pretty rough coming out of the gates. Excuse me, especially defensively. But the team is actually playing like a team, which has shocked me. It's Jake LaRavia seems pretty damn good. I don't think he was that great last night, but DeAndre Ayton all of a sudden is like a double machine. And then they got fringe guys, guys that you didn't even think were going to make the roster, like Nick Smith. And all of a sudden he's like dropping what was it, 25 the other night? It's like it seems like no matter who is on the floor, this team can win games. It's kind of a trip to see. And then you throw Luka back in the mix, and they struggle a little bit. They kind of didn't have much of an identity without him on the floor. Like they didn't know who was going to score, but they pull out games. It's a trip to see because this team has been so dysfunctional for years. Like they've been good, formidable, middle of the pack, and they've struggled to do what they're doing now. And now it's just like they're kind of hitting their stride at, this early without LeBron, without Luka at times, and now without Austin Reaves. It's crazy to see. It's pretty cool.
You almost said like they're hitting the stride at the right time, and then you're like, well, they don't want to hit the stride right now. Like,
yeah, well, yeah.
But you're totally right in the sense that all this team needs is Luka and LeBron to be healthy during the playoffs, and they're going to have, they're going to be an exciting team that no one wants to play. So this kind of is the right time to get hot with all of those bench guys and to steal some wins with a lot of those bench guys. You're talking about them playing as a team, and you're absolutely right. I think that was very evident last night when the clear strategy in the second quarter for the Lakers was to get Wemby in foul trouble. And Marcus Smart is one of the best players at doing that. And, as a fan, I want to see Wemby played. Luka also had 3 fouls in the first quarter. So, it wasn't like it was a one-sided thing. But and both of those fouls on Wemby were fouls. Smart took the charge, and then he jumped into Wemby, whose hands, were a little out of position. But yeah, that was like a clear, there was intention on doing that, and the team executed that. That's team basketball. And I think you're talking about the Lakers being dysfunctional, and they have a good roster. It's always been super top heavy, right? Maybe I remember the Dwight Howard, the Steve Nash coming in we're gonna add superstars and blah blah at the tail end of their careers or whatever. But this is like the first time that the Lakers are a really, really, really deep team since that bubble team. But so that should be pretty exciting for a lot of Lakers fans. From a fantasy aspect of it, it's kind of difficult. Can we trust Jake LaRavia? I don't know if he's starting. If he's if he's starting, you have to take it. Or you don't have to, but it's worth taking a chance on him as a streamer when he's in that starting lineup. But yeah, Reaves is going to be back. LeBron, it sounds like he's cleared for contact this morning, could be back in a couple of weeks. But yeah, a lot of really exciting. You mentioned Nick Smith popping off. Bronny's getting some run too. A very exciting time here for the Lakers. Another top team in the West, the Thunder last night. They lost to who? The Thunder lost to the Portland Trailblazers, their first loss of the season. The Thunder have kind of been navigating this early season schedule despite, numerous absences. Chet has been in and out of the lineup. Lou Dort has been in and out of the lineup. Jalen Williams still isn't playing. But the Thunder just kept on keeping on. Finally kind of hit the wall in the fourth quarter against the Trailblazers. A 40-point fourth quarter for Portland to steal that win. Are you overreacting to OKC's first loss? Are you just saying, yeah, it was about time that they kind of faltered with all of these injuries? Or is there anything to make from this loss, or you just it was time for them to lose their first game?
I think the bigger deal is Portland. Like, I mean, and you called it a few times, right? Like saying that Portland's like kind of frisky. And I thought for sure once the Billups thing blew up that they were just going to go downward spiral, right? But apparently Thiago Splitter's the coach of the year candidate right now. He's that team. It trips me out because you look at him and you're like, there's not a lot of star power there. There's just not a lot of like, guys where you're just like, okay, well, they have to neutralize this guy to do well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are those text messages coming through?
All of these comments? Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments in the chat.
Oh, no. Okay. But yeah, I think Portland might be a team to actually pay attention to, right? But with OKC, it's just like, yeah, okay, they're not going to go 82-0. It's bound to happen. And AJ Mitchell is one guy to pay attention to, right? Like he's taking advantage of his time on the floor. I was looking at his stats last night compared to like last year, and it's like through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Joe has had some good games. Aaron Wiggins has had some good games. It just we were talking about the Lakers being deep. OKC is just ridiculously deep, and even when they have starters out there bringing guys in that would probably be starters on different teams. Yeah, I called Portland being frisky, but like you said, when the Chauncey Billups news happened, I was like, hands off. Like you never know how a team is going to respond to that, and they've come out on the other side looking better than ever. You say not many like star powers on Portland. Jrue Holiday, this is, maybe this is just like a personal take, a little biased because I live in Wisconsin, so I'm not a Bucks fan, but like, watching that Bucks team. But I think Jrue Holiday is a potential Hall of Fame player. Multiple time NBA champion, multiple time gold medalist. Not probably a star, like a superstar in today's age, but he's the clear leader of that team. Tumani Kamara, Donovan Clingan, there's a defensive identity, and then Denny Avdija just kind of does his thing offensively. I'm not saying Portland's going to make the playoffs. The Western Conference is super tough, but you do not want to take Portland lightly, and it seemed like OKC kind of got off to a fast start in that one, and then kind of let it slip away. All right, the other.
I was going to say Jrue Holiday's got that Chris Paul kind of appeal, right?
Yeah.
Like wherever he goes, he just kind of changes the team that he's on. So that's clearly already happening in Portland, which kind of shocks me.
Absolutely. Hey, you're talking about Chris Paul, the OKC Clippers played last night, and I'd maybe not forgotten, but just kind of like pushed it to the back of my brain, but how instrumental CP3 was to SGA early in his career. When CP3 was in OKC, and Shea has told so many stories about how influential that was, and that can go like a really, really long way when you're looking at the box scores and you're like, Jrue Holiday isn't a star player, but he's a star to that organization early on this season for sure.
Right.
The other big storyline last night was Anthony Edwards got cleared to make his return about a week or two earlier than expected. He didn't look great, however. The T-Wolves lacked energy. Primetime game. They did not come out ready for that fight. The ESPN,
like 15 points, something like that?
Yeah, just wasn't great. The ESPN broadcast just kept talking about the Cat Julius DiVincenzo trade. Do you think there's a clear winner from that trade, now a couple of years removed from it, or was it a win-win, a lose-lose? I feel like, both teams have really high aspirations and they haven't quite reached it, but I feel like the fit is better for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, last year I would have said it was a win-win for both teams easily, right? Because I think we both got to the Eastern or the conference finals. Yeah. And then this year it looks more like it's tilting in New York's favor, right? So, but yeah, I mean, it's early, right? That we could say that now and it could be completely different, a couple months from now. But I still think it's kind of a strange move,
Yeah.
Like, why would they do it? But at the same time, I mean, they're both potentially really good teams, right? I think the Knicks more so because they just got kind of more talent and they're more experienced, and I feel like they're ready to win now, whereas Minnesota might take a few years. So yeah.
I think Minnesota is kind of like um they're gonna go as far as Ant takes them, but
Yeah.
the team build is better in New York. Like
Yes.
The Jalen Brunson cat pick and roll is really fun to watch, and then you have OG and McHale on the wings as 3-and-D guys. I think New York's team is better put together, but I'm a sucker for Ant, and I think Ant could take them as far no matter who's on that team. All right, let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor, Sling TV. Tired of paying for live TV you don't watch? With Sling, you can get all the live sports, news, and entertainment you want, only when you want it. Get your hands on a Sling day, week, or weekend pass starting at just $4.99. Get over 30 of your favorite channels for the best price and stop overpaying for full-time live TV plans. Sling has a pass for any occasion. Big game tonight? Grab a day pass for just $4.99. Want a week full of live TV for one full price? Get a 7-day week pass. And for all those weekend watchers out there, you can enjoy live sports, news, and entertainment from Friday morning to Sunday night with a weekend pass. Only Sling lets you watch when you want, so you only pay for what you watch. Get live TV for the day, week, or weekend. Your choice, all for a great price. Watch live TV on your terms, starting at just $4.99. Sling lets you do that. Use the link below to sign up today. All right, let's round out last night's games with just some, a speed round of reactions. We had the Sacramento Kings getting a win over the Warriors. Both teams were banged up heading into this one, so it was the full Russell Westbrook experience in Toronto. 23, 16, and 10 for Westbrook. On the other side, Will Richard comes back from a G League assignment and drops 30 and 7. Then you had Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga combining for 54. Pods had a near triple-double. A lot of injuries in this one, so not many like long-term fantasy takeaways from this one. Do you believe in Russell Westbrook being a triple-double threat at this stage of his career?
Hell no. he is done, man. Throw dirt on that guy. I think he's been done for a few years, and somehow he's just kind of holding on or getting these opportunities. I mean, I'm looking at his stats now. I mean, pretty solid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but still, I don't put my faith in Westbrook at all. So because I've seen too many shots that go off the top of the backboard or the side of the backboard, and he just does crazy stuff that doesn't make any sense for a supposed smart basketball player. And no, I mean, I have no faith in Russell Westbrook whatsoever.
My only thing here is that I think the Kings organization is just so dysfunctional that I don't know if they're trying to win, so that Westbrook just they just might let him go out there and ball every night and be like, hey, we're gonna trade everyone else around you. You go put up numbers. That's just the only vibe I have here. But if you picked up Russell, you got to keep playing him when he's putting up these types of stat lines on a nightly basis. Dallas Pelicans, D'Lo starts at point guard. That means Clay moves to the bench for the first time this season. Cooper Flag played pretty well, but the Mavs lose again. They're 2-6 now. The Pelicans have won 2 straight games since the Zion hamstring news popped. Is there anything to read into New Orleans winning without Zion, or is that just a coincidence? And then what are your thoughts on Derrick Queen and Jordan Poole with Zion out?
No. I think the Pelicans are another throw the dirt on them. I don't know what the hell they're doing. It feels like just a matter of time before Willie Green gets canned, right? I feel like they're just trying to figure out how to make that work. I'm just looking at the stats right now. Sadiq Bey, 22 points.
He's been playing pretty well in the Zion.
It's just such a weird team. I just don't know what is going on there. It doesn't make any kind of sense. And then Queen with almost a double there.
Yeah,
and 3 steals too. That's not bad.
I think Queen is the highest upside guy that even if Willie Green gets fired, Zion stays out, I think there's a path where Derrick Queen just has, a 25 minutes a night, and he's going to be able to, put up stats in extended minutes. Philly, Cleveland, Edgecombe struggled mightily. Grimes had another great game off the bench. Jared McCain doesn't play. Are you panicking about one bad game from Edgecombe? What are your kind of your thoughts? Well, I guess we'll keep that because I got a lot of Edgecombe trades boiling, so we'll keep your Edgecombe thoughts to the side for now. But so going to the Cleveland side, Darius Garland returned, Sam Merrill was back, Jared Allen was back, and Donovan Mitchell looked like the MVP. You kind of said last week, I asked you about Cleveland, and you said once they get Garland back, they're going to be just fine. That's exactly how they looked last night. So I guess not so much Edgecombe. Do you think Philly can compete for, a top 6 seed in the East this year and avoid that play-in tournament?
Philly?
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Even with Embiid doing this 20 minutes resting every other back-to-back.
I mean, that's weird and all, but I think they've surprisingly done much better than you'd expect right now, right? Yeah. And they don't have Paul George is still not back, no Embiid. I think they're kind of figuring out their identity without those two guys, which is exactly why they could do what they could be a force in the East. Yeah. I mean, not like a top tier team like everybody thought they would be last year, but they're formidable. Yeah. I mean,
if Maxey keeps playing this way, they're gonna keep winning games.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know how good the top of the East is. Like I think
either.
I think the Cavs are good. I think New York is good. So, at this point, Philly, Chicago, like they're playing well. There's no reason to doubt them now. But the Edgecombe. The Edgecombe X factor is what I'll call it, and we'll get into that a little bit later. All right, I'll just go rapid fire through these next couple of games, and then just stop me if you got anything to add. The Nets continue to tinker with their starting lineup. Claxton is leading the team in assists right now. On the Indiana side of that, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, who just signed a 10-day or just signed a contract. I can't remember exactly what type of contract it was. Robinson Earl had 15 boards off the bench, and Ben Shepherd finally made some threes for Indy. This Brooklyn, Indiana game was, you had to like hold my eyes open to watch that pretty brutal game this early in the season. Denver, Miami, Jokic looked like Jokic, another stellar performance from him, and Bam Adebayo got a little banged up in this game. There was no report after the game, which is normally like a good sign. Like normally the team is like, he's going to get an MRI or he's going to go through additional testing tomorrow.
But sometimes they're like, we know it's bad and we're trying to figure out how to say it to the public. I've seen that.
Yep.
A lot of times too. So
absolutely. So it's almost like this is he's going to be fine and he'll be playing tomorrow or their next game, or it's like this could be a multiple month thing. That update should come probably when we get off the air today, but that was definitely the biggest news out of that Denver Miami game.
8 minutes, huh?
Yeah,
that's all he played. Jeez,
didn't want to go up against Jokic.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, me either. Utah, Detroit. Obviously the biggest news yesterday was Walker Kessler is done for the season.
Rough.
Yeah, Nurkic started 17 boards. Mikhailuk with 28. Still not enough for Utah to get this win because Cade Cunningham had 31 and 10, and Duren had 22 points and 22 boards. Duren has been very good to start the season. Isaiah Collier still not part of the Jazz's rotation after getting cleared earlier this week.
Holy hell, he had 22 rebounds.
He's doing some things.
22 and 22. Jesus.
He's doing some things. I know like early last season, the numbers weren't quite there, and people were kind of moving off of him as like a dynasty candidate. But Jalen Duren, as long as he's playing with Cade Cunningham, this Detroit team is going to be a playoff contender, and they're going to put up really, really good numbers. So if you were able to buy low on Duren last year in Dynasty, you're reaping the benefits this year when he's off to a career high start. Houston, Memphis. Amon Thompson, star, nearly 30-point triple-double. Cam Spencer had 19 points for Memphis. Reed Shepherd continues to play fewer than 20 minutes. Otherwise, that was pretty status quo game. You got any Ja takes you want to get off your chest right now? We're gonna have some Ja potential trades in the later part of this show, but that's really the only thing out of this game that I had was the Ja Morant turmoil continues.
I would say run, because who knows what's going on with that guy. I mean, talk about like an unfortunate, like, superstar potential guy, right? Who just can't get out of his own way, and now they'd be stupid not to trade him at this point, right?
I just don't know who's gonna give up, valuable
where's
assets.
he gonna go? That's the question. Who's gonna want to take on that? All that crap. Right. Like, I mean, he's a great player when he's engaged and all that stuff. But if you've got to go through, you got to put all that work into just get him to want to play in basketball, and the fact that he's injury prone, I don't know what the hell's going to happen with that. But I mean,
and the other thing is that he's not like he's the alpha. He's not gonna I'm drawing a blank, but like he's not gonna go to Minnesota and be like, oh, Ant, this is your team. Like, I'm just here to play the Drew Holiday, Derrick White role. Like, no, Ja wants to be the guy, and so it's gonna be weird. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
Cedric Coward, I would keep your eye on him if he gets traded. If Ja gets traded, I mean, who knows? It might be a star for a star, but that rarely kind of happens.
I mean, Jalen Wells or KCP could move to the bench tomorrow. They have not been playing well at all. And Coward looks very, very good. I love that call. I love that call.
It's just a matter of time before he's like he's a starter for the rest of the season, I would think.
I love that call. So the last game was Boston, Washington. Not very exciting. Sarr dropped 30 in this one, so that's fun if you have him on your team. Jordan Walsh kind of got some action for Boston for the first time this season. He played 24 minutes, but that was mostly because they're playing the Wizards and it was a blowout, so a good opportunity to get him some minutes. And then Bilal Coulibaly injured his leg in this game. Not sure what to make of that yet. But obviously tough start to the season for him as he missed, the first couple of weeks of the season, and now is back on the injury report. All right, before we get into some potential trades, let's hear from a word from Prosper Trading. Every weekend, millions bet on sports, hoping to beat the odds. But here's the truth. The house always wins. With trading, you're not betting, you are building. At Prosper Trading and Academy, we give you the tools, the education, and the live guidance to actually create an edge. You can control your risk, compound your wins, and trade alongside real pros every single day. Stop gambling on games you can't control. Start trading the markets you can. Visit prospertrading.com/roto today and take your shot at real financial growth. All right, finally, I know I kind of baited it a little bit, but here are the potential trades. So I'm just going to give you a trade. Obviously it's kind of tough because you don't know if this is points league or category leagues, but just give whatever takes you want. The first one I have are two guys that we've been talking about already on this show. What side would you rather be on in this trade from a fantasy perspective? VJ Edgecombe or Ja Morant?
Edgecombe.
This just for this season, and obviously season dynasty. Edgecombe is a rookie, so you're gonna want him there. But for this season too.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Like I wouldn't touch Morant with a 10-foot pole right now. He's just too volatile, man.
All right. Edgecombe or Brandon Ingram?
Ooh, that's tough. I'd still go Edgecombe because just the upside and Ingram gets hurt too much.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I'm very high on Edgecombe. I drafted him in my highest stakes league, so this is kind of good for me to gauge the value of what other people think of him. So this was the trade that I was thinking about sending opening night. Edgecombe had his 30-point game or whatever it was, and I immediately wanted to capitalize, and I had my finger over the button, and our boss Alex Brutha told me not to send it because I was overreacting to one game. But VJ Edgecombe or Dyson Daniels?
Dude.
And the steals are very important in fantasy. Those go a long way with Dyson. He's finally scoring a little bit. Trae Young is out, so there's more usage to go around for Dyson.
Right.
I'm
going Edgecombe still.
Yeah, that's exactly what Alex said. Opening night, I was like, look, I got Edgecombe for $4 or $5 in this auction, and Dyson went for $35, $40. Like, if I can flip this on opening night, that is huge return on investments. Why would I not want to do it? But Alex and you are, I think you're both right. Like, you just got to ride Edgecombe and see how far he can take you, because his upside.
I mean, he's got such a good opportunity in Philly right now. With it, they're kind of going through that transition phase where it's just like it's all in on Maxey, and Embiid's kind of an afterthought. George is an afterthought. It's those two guys, and that's it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
All right. Well, this one is probably pretty easy for you. I got some Ja ones, so you're probably going to take the opposite side of all of those. Ja or Dyson?
Dyson.
Ja or De'Aaron Fox?
Ooh. Can I just pass on that
one? You don't want either side of them?
No.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Pass on that and take Dylan Harper when he gets healthy.
There you go.
All right. So here's another one you're probably going to pass on then. Ja or Zion Williamson?
Oh, God.
Two guys just throwing.
They're exactly the same person in a different team. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, why would you even make this trade? You're just like, I'll trade my lotto ticket for your lotto ticket.
It's like, can I just cash it in? Like, just get cash back?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Can I just get like draft considerations?
something else. Yeah.
All right. So Desmond Bane or Michael Porter Jr.?
Jeez. Oh God, that's tough.
Bane,
for some reason, makes me think he's got a higher upside.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because Porter's just such a wild card now. Ever since he got traded, he's like a totally different person.
I think
I go Bane. Yeah.
Yeah. This is tough. I think you got to take into account the Nets probably tanking at the end of the season, and Bane has started out slow, but I think he's gonna be fine.
I will say this: the Orlando Magic look like crap. Like, I watched them play the other day. I can't remember who they were playing, and I'm like, oh my God, they are so out of sync.
Was it the Hawks game a couple nights ago, Tuesday?
It might have been. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah. And I'm like, what? It was unwatchable.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so bad. There's so many good players on the floor, and they just seem so like there's no chemistry at all.
I would agree with that. I think, I said it yesterday on the pod with Barner, but KCP was an amazing career 3-point shooter, and then he goes there and he falls off a cliff. Desmond Bane, amazing 3-point shooter, and he can't find his stroke. So it might just be something internal that they got to figure out if they're going to improve the spacing or whatever. But I still
might be coaching too. It might be Mosley. Like he might be the issue.
Yeah, I still have Paulo's still one of my favorite players in the league, and I think Franz is really good. But yeah, so all right, well, I probably know your answers to these other two questions. Bane or Buzelis then?
Ooh, Buzelis.
Yeah, Bane or Emmanuel Quickly?
Quickly
or DeAndre Ayton? Got a Lakers in there. This was actually a trade that was made in a RotoWire stake league, 9-cat, 15 teams, rotisserie scoring. Yeah, one guy needed a guard and one guy needed a center. So
I'm going Ayton then.
Yeah,
I'm going Ayton. Yeah. He's really surprised me.
Yeah,
really.
And you don't need stellar production. You don't need 30 points from Aiden. If he gets that 20 point, 10 boards and a steal or a block every now and again, you're going to be doing just fine. All right, two more. Derrick White or Denny Advida?
Derrick White.
Derrick White or Drew Holiday?
Drew Holiday.
Oh, spicy. You're trusting the Holiday start.
There's something there.
Yeah,
there's just something there.
I like it. I'm not. Scoot comes back. Scoot's not taking minutes away from Drew. Drew's playing a different role. Scoot's going to take minutes away from Shaedon Sharpe probably. All right. Before we get into some viewer questions, let's take a quick word from Dabble. Dabble isn't just another DFS app. It's the ultimate social platform where you can connect with other fantasy sports lovers. Dabbles lets you win big. You can win up to 5,000 times your money this basketball season. Starting with Dabble is easy. New users get $25 free when signing up. No deposit necessary. Check out the link in the episode description below to download Dabble now. All right, Ryan, we got a ton of questions in the chat, so I'm just going to go rapid fire like we were doing earlier, and you can stop me if you got anything to add. Wemby, hi guys, I'm loaded in bigs. Klingon, Turner, Porzingis, Isaiah Stewart, Kalkbrenner, Edie on IL. Which one should I drop or trade? If you're going to strictly drop one, I think you got to drop Stewart here. I know the recent production is super fun. I'm really high on Stewart. I actually had Stewart in Dynasty because you sort by made threes and blocks. There's not very many guys available on the waiver wire, and Stewart is one of those guys that can produce in both of those categories. But I think he has the lowest upside when Tobias Harris is healthy here. If you can trade, maybe try to sell high on Kalkbrenner with his fast start to the season. I know Turner hasn't really been great, so you're not really going to get much back for Turner or Porzingis at this point. So I think Kalkbrenner or Klingon would be your best trade options. Dropping Stewart would probably be your best option in that. Thinking of offered Klingon for Coward. There's your guy. That's ballsy. I think Klingon still has the higher upside, or the higher floor right now. Because Coward doesn't have a starting role yet. But
just with the uncertainty with Jaw though, like that might be a good move.
And
now.
you just saw you just saw all the centers he has, so he's not going to be hurting at center. But I still think this would be. Too. I still think at this point it would be a little bit of an overpay. All right, Daniel, howdy, man. Loves the show. I'm doing all right in my leagues. Hope you're doing all right too, Daniel. Got a long way to go. Just hoping to stay healthy, and we'll be all right. Daniel says, when Ty Jerome returns, will he benefit from the jaw drama, or is it too soon to speculate? Yes, I said yesterday on the pod with Mike that I'm stashing Jerome anywhere I can. Also Jalen Wells. Not playing great. KCP, not playing great. I don't think you can really start both of those guys. Ty Jerome, instant offense. I think Ty Jerome could have a big second half of the season. So definitely a player to monitor. All right. Angelo says, who should I drop? McCain or Koulibaly? I've got too many injuries on my team already. I even had to drop Kessler, and I still have Trae Young on my roster. I feel you, brother. I'm in one.
Jeez.
I'm in one league where I got Trae Young, Brandon Miller, and Austin Reaves all injured right now this week. So I'm doing pretty bad in that one. Between Kane or Koulibaly, I think the answer is probably Koulibaly after the injury last night. But McCain also wasn't part of the rotation there. So that's a difficult one. I think you wait to see what happens with the Koulibaly injury. If he's questionable or, week to week, I think you keep him. But if he's out for, extended period, you just keep McCain. Daniel says, thoughts on Cam Thomas's injury and is Terrence Mann must roster in 12-team category leagues? I don't think Terrence Mann is must roster in 12-team. I think there's other options out there. I know he started at point guard, played 35 minutes. I think he's definitely a player to you can stream. Mann is, but Terrence Mann isn't the starting point guard for the Nets. Like, yes, he is starting at point guard, but Nick Claxton, they're operating a lot with Nick Claxton, handling that point forward role. Nick Claxton is leading this Nets team in assists.
So weird.
Yeah, I think Mann is a fine player to monitor, but given the Nets situation, and his, not stellar, he's not a star. He when he does have strong production, it's just gonna be solid production. So I don't think he's a must roster. I do think Noah Clowney is a player that has a higher upside than Terrence Mann. I would rather monitor Noah Clowney than rostering Terrence Mann all season. Kobe trying to trade away Trae for Garland and Pritchard in 20-team 9-cat. I think if you can make that trade, that's a fair trade. Yeah, that's a fair trade for both teams. I think you get Garland and Pritchard in that production right now, and then whoever you're trading gets Trey when he comes back and is, obviously taking on a little more risk than you right now. But I think that's a fair trade that would be intriguing for a lot of fantasy managers. P-Dub, I have no update on Bam. Ryan and I kind of talked about how the no update from Spoelstra last night could be a good thing, and it could be a very, very, very bad thing. I expect we'll hear probably in the next hour or so. Daniel says has another question about keeper leagues. Trying to get younger. Trey Jones for Ace Bailey, Miles Bridges for Dylan Harper, Scotty Gobert for Flag Middleton. I think this obviously, bless you, sir, bless you. I think this obviously depends on, who you're trading with, like what their plans are. But if you can get younger, I would do all of these trades. Probably not enough though at this point, given a lot of Flag and Harper will be contributing. I guess Harper isn't really contributing right now because he's hurt, and Bailey is coming off the bench. So Flag is the only guy that's contributing right now, but I still think managers want to keep them. Is Poole a drop? No, I don't think Poole is a drop. As long as Zion is out, there's going to be enough usage for Poole. Would you trade Keyshawn and Klingon for Jimmy Butler? No. No. Jimmy Butler's a good player. I don't trust him to play 75 games. He's going to get regular rest days. There's going to be some games where Curry's balling out and Jimmy doesn't need to do a bunch. I like the upside with Keyshawn and Klingon way more.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you drop first? Gobert, Collins? I'm a Zach or John? I'm not sure. I would assume
Edey. Do we know when Edey's coming back?
Soon. He just went on a rehab assignment. His return date is coming up, but I would assume, within the next week or two, Edey will be cleared to play. I would go Collins here. If it's John or Zach, I'm not sure who the other Collins would be, but I think Gobert, Edey, and Nurkic are all must rosters, especially after the Kessler news. Does Derrick Queen have any long-term value and eventually start? Yeah, similar to Jordan Poole. Just
who knows what's going on with New Orleans, man.
Yeah. And
anything's possible.
Maybe I don't need to do this rant again, but I did this yesterday. The Pelicans gave up their own unprotected first-round pick next year to select Derrick Queen at 13th overall. Next year, the unprotected. The Pelicans are 2-6. That could be a top 5 pick. They could have traded a top 5 pick to take Derrick Queen at 13.
That front office is hanging out on Bourbon Street way too much, man.
Yeah, not good, not good. All right, a couple more here, and then we'll get you out of here, Ryan. Sorry, I lost my place when I went through my rant. Daniel with another question. Will Nurk, Filipowski, or Hendricks get the biggest long-term boost? Okay, so long-term boost, I'm going.
I like Filipowski.
Yep. I totally agree. Nurkic has the big boards and he's had some good games, but you watch Nurkic play, dude. His move is like catch the pick and roll, bump into a guy, and then the little hook shot over him and maybe get his own rebound. Like, it's not the greatest, especially if you're in a category league. Nurkic is going to hurt you in free throw percentage. He might hurt you in field goal percentage because he's not, even though he's a center and a big guy, he's not very efficient around the rim, especially when he's very efficient from the field, especially when he's shooting threes. I like your call on Filipowski here. I think
he's got high upside.
Yeah. And maybe they trade Markkanen too, and Filipowski gets even a bigger upside.
Yeah.
Johnny, we kind of talked about Westbrook earlier. Monk came back from a personal absence. Schroeder continues to start next to Westbrook. I think all three of these guys are you got to play them right now. As long as they're producing, you got to play them. Am I very confident in saying that they're gonna, next week when we're doing this show, I'm gonna have the same answer? No, I'm not confident in that at all. But as long as they're doing this right now, you got to play them. All right, one more trade question. Nurk for Bane. I'm taking the Bane side of this all day long and twice on Sundays. Are you dropping Cam Johnson, Ryan?
No.
Slow start. For for Cam in Denver, but I still like the upside there. All right, Ryan, I appreciate you powering through the illness. Yeah, another great show. Appreciate all the questions in the chat. No, we didn't get to all of them, but hopefully we got to enough of them. If you like this content, always please like and subscribe so we can continue doing this all season long. And thank you to Sling TV for sponsoring the ad. Catch you guys on the flip side. Good luck with your fantasy teams.